Hi, this is TJR, and it's time for a review of the recent Blu-ray release of The Man Who Fell to Earth. Now, this film was originally released back in 1976. It was directed by Nicholas Roeg, and it starred David Bowie. And it was the first motion picture starring role for David Bowie. At this point, he was already a huge rock and pop sensation. This new release is from StudioCanal. And I want to stress this is not a review of the motion picture itself. I'll probably be doing that at some other time. This is a review of this specific Blu-ray release. And I'm glad that it has been released. Previously, the only really good release of this film was from the Criterion Collection. I've heard this is a great release of the film, but unfortunately it's been out of print for some time, and trying to buy a used copy on eBay is going to cost you a pretty penny. Now, this latest release is from StudioCanal, and prior to this, the only really good Blu-ray release you could find of this film was from the Criterion Collection. I've never been able to see the Criterion Collection version, but I've heard it's fantastic. The only unfortunate thing is that the Criterion version is long since been out of print, and trying to buy a used copy is going to cost you quite a bit. I understand you can expect to pay over $100 if you want to score a used copy from a private collector. So I'm really grateful that this has come out. Now, this particular version has been released in both Blu-ray, DVD, and a digital HD download version as well. This version comes packaged in a box. It features both the movie and some physical extras, which I'll get into in a moment here. And of course, it also features quite a lot of video extras as well, some new to this version, some used in previous versions. Now, amongst the physical extras that come with this new release, I think the first thing I should mention is this very nice 72-page booklet here that comes with it. It's fully illustrated. It features lots of photos from the film. It includes other images as well, such as sections of the working shooting script. And there are two essays. There's an essay on the film itself, and then there's another essay about the film's soundtrack as well. Now, also included with the physical extras is a little mini poster here. This is a fold-out poster here, little mini movie fold-out poster right here for the film. Very nice. Also included is a mini recreation of what was the original press book for the film. This is a fold-out here, and it's double-sided. But this is a mini recreation of the press book for the film. Interesting extra to be included. Lots of interesting information with it. And then also there are these 4 art cards, little mini postcards basically, with images from the film as well. And these are the physical extras. I rather like these things when they include these kind of special physical packaging, because you can't get this stuff, through a download, and I just like the tactile experience of that. Now, one thing I don't like about this, while I'm still on the subject of these physical extras, is how this was all packaged. You've got the box here, which is, it's a bit flimsy, but it's not too bad, especially not for the price they're charging for the film. But to hold all these extras in place in the box, they basically just give you this little piece of cardboard here. You have to place these right here like this, and then to fit it inside the box, you got to put the movie on top of it like that to hold it in place, and then you slide it in like so, and that's kind of how it's done. I just kind of think that there could have been a better way to do this, something a little not so flimsy, not so chintzy. This is one of my few complaints about this particular release, is just in some of the physical packaging. I wish the box had been a little sturdier too, but all in all, I can't really complain too much, once again, considering the price, which I'll be talking about in just a moment here. Now, as far as the actual features contained with the discs here, there's, of course, when you open it up here, you've got 3 discs. You've got the Blu-ray, and then you've got the DVD version of the movie, and a DVD of the bonus features that you already get with the Blu-ray. Now, among the features on this, there are some new interviews that have never been seen before. There are some interviews which are not listed as new, so I'm assuming these interviews are from previous releases of this film. Some of the interviews include director Nicholas Roeg and co-star Candy Clark. There is a new interview from the 70s with David Bowie for French TV. It's a rare interview that's never been seen before, or has been seen by very few people. It's neat that it's included on this. It doesn't give you a whole lot of information, but it's neat to see. There is also a featurette here that is new about the soundtrack by John Phillips, and also the Lost soundtrack that was originally going to be done by David Bowie. And now you may have noticed, I've mentioned there's a featurette about the soundtrack. There's also an essay about the soundtrack in the 72-page booklet that I mentioned earlier. A lot of emphasis on the soundtrack. And if you're wondering why, well, here's the thing. The British releases of this included the original soundtrack by John Phillips. This soundtrack, oddly enough, had never been released commercially till now. I am disappointed that the American version doesn't include the soundtrack. Instead, for our third disc, we get another DVD of the bonus features we already got with the Blu-ray. And I guess if you don't have a Blu-ray player, then this is good for you because now you get to see those bonus features. But I get the feeling this film is really going to appeal more to the serious film aficionados. And, you know, we're already using Blu-ray, and we don't need an extra disc of the bonus features. That's just my feeling. But at any rate, though, the soundtrack is at least commercially available separately if you want to get that. And I think I'd like to check that out personally. Now, getting back to the film itself, while I don't want to do a full-on review of the movie just yet, I do want to make a few comments about it. I first saw this movie many years ago, and I found the film to be somewhat perplexing at the time and very disjointed. Now, I had the feeling that if I watched it again, I'd probably see it with very different eyes. This happened to me with the film Taxi. I saw that film quite a long time ago, did not like it, saw it within the last few years again, thought it was brilliant. So time can change how you see things. At any rate, though, I had a feeling that I would see it very differently now as an adult. But then I found out something else about this film that I never realized. And that is the fact that the American version was tremendously edited over the British version. It was 20 minutes shorter. In the bonus features here, the interview with co-star Candy Clark, she talks about seeing, you know, the original British release after it came out, when it first came out, I should say, and loving the film, then seeing the American release, which she had to go on a promotional tour for, and being appalled by what she had seen. She felt the film had just been butchered horribly. And then she campaigned to get the original, you know, cut back, re-released. So what I'm watching now is clearly the original edit of the film. So once again, certainly this must have had a big impact on how I looked at it years ago versus now. The only other thing that I'm a bit disappointed about with this particular release is that the digital HD download version is only playable on Vudu. I was kind of hoping there'd be an iTunes version instead, or at the very least one that I could play on Flickster. Vudu is not my go-to place for digital films, but oh well, it was a free digital download. You can't complain too much about that, though I'm certainly trying to do so. At any rate, though, overall, I thought this was a really good package. I purchased my copy at Best Buy. It's $25 there, and it's about $30 on Amazon right now as I'm doing this video. So considering everything you're getting, this is a very affordable set here. And once again, someday maybe I will get to see the Criterion version. Maybe Criterion will re-release it. But for right now, for those of us who don't want to be selling out, you know, over $100 to see it, to see a good Blu-ray version of it, this is really nice to have. And I'm glad this has been put out. And so once again, if you're already a fan of this film and you don't have the Criterion version, this is of course a no-brainer. And of course, if you're a fan of David Bowie, or if you're a film aficionado, I think you're going to, and you can't get the Criterion version, I'm sure you're going to want to check this one out. At any rate, though, that concludes my review of this Blu-ray release here. And once again, I'm thinking about doing a full-on review of the film, but that's going to be a little bit more in-depth. Anyways, this is TJR. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen this version, tell me what you think. If you have the British version and you want to share some insights into that, please do so in the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Thanks so much for watching.